Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to WCS Challenger for Europe as we're in the playoffs for day number 1. As we have currently found ourselves all the way now through the top half of the bracket, and we are in our semi-finals in the upper bracket. And as you can see, things are unfolding quite nicely. We currently have a 1-1 situation going on between Namsha and Snoot. The winner of that will go on to play against Nurtio, who's tearing things up there. And then, of course, we move on to our next semi-final, which will be ShoWTimE going up against Serral. A rematch of a rematch of a rematch of a rematch, because these guys are god tier, and they have been plowing their way through the bracket as well. So far, so good here, Todd.
Yeah, they truly are. Actually, if Snoot wins against Namsha, the top 4 seed will be in the top 4 that winners bracket, and everything will make sense in the StarCraft world. But ShoWTimE and Serral, that's close to flawless so far as can be. Serral did lose a map against Zenster in round 1. You know, maybe he's in a bit of a slump. Maybe not.
A whole 1-map slump. Oh, God.
But ShoWTimE 3-0 sort of 3-0 Lambo. He's got a hell of a warm-up against Zerg.
Yeah.
But now he goes up against the biggest test here that he's had so far in Serral.
Yes, these are two players, if you're unfamiliar and things like that, these are two players that are absolutely challenging for some of the top spots going to the global finals, never mind actually playing here in Challenger for WCS. So let's jump into game number 1, as we do have what is sure to be a good best of 5. Down to the bottom right-hand corner, in the red, we do have Serral here from Finland. And up to the top left-hand corner, hailing from Germany, we have ShoWTimE. We've already seen him dismantle Zerg after Zerg, but now is a real test, a very real test.
And very important match here. Whoever wins will already be qualified for the WCS Jönköping.
Yep.
And whoever loses will still be in it, but will have to play more games tomorrow to try and qualify for that.
That is true. I think everything down in the bottom of the lower bracket is best of 3, apart from the 2 matches that qualify you for WCS Jönköping, which will be best of 5s.
Serral currently rank 1 on the European ladder, and no. That's not just with like 40, 50, 60 games. He's got 84% win rate with 162 wins and 30 losses. That's 7,198 MMR. We're going to round it up at 7K2.
Sure.
Which is by far like ahead from the second rank, which is Neeb, who's slightly below 7K. So Serral is absolutely on fire. Anybody, like I'm sure, like anytime he searches, he basically gets the highest MMR guys that are searching at the same time. And apparently he beats most of them because he's far ahead of the pack, but that's on the ladder. In the previous Challenger that we had, I think it was already the case. He was already rank 1, but he lost to ShoWTimE twice in some very close series that could have gone either way.
Yeah. For a long time, Serral was considered to be a young little genius, the younger brother of another StarCraft player called Protosser. However, Serral surpassed him. And Serral made a very big splash halfway through, I think, 2015 WCS, but since then he's become a massive contender for the top spots at these tournaments.
Yeah, and also, like, you know, we've been building him up in terms of hype. Like a lot of players say that he's the best European player and all that. He's, you know, the best non-Korean player, even for some of them say that. He hasn't delivered as much as those expectations in most tournaments.
Yeah.
But usually when something like that happens, eventually a player will fulfill its full potential, right? That was kind of the same thing for Neeb, right? He was taking a bunch of second places when all of a sudden he immediately won Kespa Cup against the toughest competition in the world. So it feels like Serral eventually is meant to start winning some of these tournaments. And here, if he was to win this Challenger, going to Jönköping and WCS there, he'd be one of the biggest favorites to do really well as well. And it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yes, he definitely would. He definitely would. Of course, these people like ShoWTimE, some of the biggest contenders that he has to go up against. And as you mentioned, Neeb, who was basically, I think when you look at their ages, when you look at the tournaments that they've had to go through and stuff like that, Neeb and Serral are like the two comparables between one another, but obviously Neeb with just a bit more success across the pond.
And Nurtio is still out there all the time as well and performing very consistently nowadays. So ShoWTimE, that was once again a double gateway opener, a very quick nexus, adepts being made and sent across the map to force some links into Oracle, which I'm sure Serral will expect regardless. of if he had been able to scout it or not. And in this case, he was even not only able to see it, but then get out with his one Overlord at the top. So he saw the Stargate. He's going to be able to time these spores perfectly. And I expect a really good defense here out of Serral.
I like everything that ShoWTimE does. I mean, even the positioning of the Adepts when they're waiting to harass is in such a way that if they are found, they will get the most efficient trade against Zerglings possible.
And they should be able to shed out as well.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
There is not enough surface area on these guys that they would go down anyway.
It's really cool. Just so even the setup to harass is cool to see. As Serral is going to be sending some links down towards the left-hand side. The Adepts should be able to greet those.
Every single small detail out of ShoWTimE's build is as good as it gets, basically. Oracle's going to fly in. He's actually going to choose to attack some drone here, but again, you know, this is Serral here. Like, we're on a whole different level of Zerg all of a sudden. He's not going to, so far, mess up. Starts a spore just on time to save one of his drones. And yeah, these Adepts will be sacrificed here to really not even get that much. Great macro here from Serral already.
Very well done. The extra queens at that location to help defend really helped out a lot.
Even that gate on the high ground here by ShoWTimE, because this is powered by this one pylon, he can warp in on the low ground already with a fast warp in.
Yeah.
Like, just details like that.
God, it's so good. At the same time, Serral holding on nice and strongly, repositions just one drone. He barely even pulled the drones off mining. They were mining on the other side of the patches.
In the previous games that we saw, ShoWTimE did a lot with his Oracles and Adepts, but so far in this game, he really hasn't been able to achieve much at all. He killed 2 drones only.
Yeah. I think it's important, again, just to reiterate that as much as, yes, we've watched ShoWTimE do so well in the past 2 series, Serral is going to give him such a good series here. This could be series of the entire tournament if the 2 players are to live up to their potential.
Again, a Robo inside of the... I don't know what's happened. Well, like, what's the reasoning about this for ShoWTimE? Because for a long time, Protoss had started making Robos outside of their natural wall-in, right? On the third base, so that they could make Immortals straight into or like right into the map, and then you never have to move a Zealot inside of your wall. That's one thing less you have to worry about. But nowadays, maybe because he wanted to start it a little bit earlier, ShoWTimE actually made that first Robo inside of his natural wall. And in this case, it's a very quick double Robo there that he started. So I don't know if he's maybe worried about some sort of lurker play out of Serral. You know, obviously these two, I'm sure they've played a bunch of on ladder. But going for a double Robo this early might not necessarily mean that much, you know, like, yeah, obviously he's able to get an Observer and then straight into a Prism and start Immortal production early. Templar Archives will still go down quickly behind this.
Alright, so Macro Hatch even being added on here for Serral as well as he gets his 4th base up and running. Revelation onto the 3rd base. Having a look, see what's being produced even could help out.
The Hydra then is very important to tag, because you want to know if as soon as Muscular Augment finishes, there's going to be a Lurker then. And Serral is very different than most Zergs in the way that, like in the previous games that we saw from Lambo and Saltov, we saw them play very aggressively with Hydralisk and Banelings. Serral, a lot of the time, will rather want to sit back, keep on macroing, especially on a map like this, where you have 5 bases very close together. If Serral takes a 5th base, takes to Hive, then all of a sudden this becomes a very, very different game to what we saw earlier, where ShoWTimE's defense was really, really good, but then this time he's not being allowed to showcase that, right? He's the one that might have to go on the offensive because Zerg's expanding. He's going up to 10 gases and taking to Brood Lords eventually.
And Warp Prism is on the bottom of this map at the moment. Hasn't been spotted just yet, though. Decider
then is what we need to pay attention to here, because Muscular Augment's about to finish, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Locker then starts very quickly. Serral about to start working on that 5th base as well.
20 modelings on the way, as that 4th base is going to be on the way up for ShoWTimE. Where's that Warp Prism? It tried to go in, but there was already Hydralisks waiting at that 4th base, and the rocks are going to be broken down towards the 4th.
ShoWTimE is incredibly good at keeping his Warp Prism alive, by the way, like this decision-making with it. He must be getting it every game and like getting a ton of practice with that, because I know that for a lot of Protosses, you just kind of fly it in there, try to do some damage, overextend, and then lose the Prism, and then all of a sudden, it's something less that Zerg has to worry about, and they might even go for the counter-attack. Storm's already finished, but I like that ShoWTimE's delaying the fight here a little bit. He might have to remake those gateways elsewhere.
Yeah, for the cost of Cancel Gateway, not too bad. That's why we're seeing the Hydralisk actually focusing down the cannon there to begin things, and there's going to be Banelings going through here. Not getting through that wall, but there aren't that many sentries left with energy.
Yeah, actually, that was a lot of force fields used in the first place. We see ShoWTimE adding on one more sentry. I think he realizes that if Serral actually went for an attack here, he might need a lot of force fields to make sure he keeps those banelings at bay and is able to storm them. We do see the infestation pit start now. Serral committed a lot longer onto Zergling, Bane, Hydra than I would have thought from him. Oh, one of the force fields broke there. And Lynx, they get through somehow. ShoWTimE with the flawless defense in the previous games here. He might be in trouble.
This is the perfect opportunity for Serral to really do a lot of crippling damage, as that's 91 army supply against 55. Reinforcements coming along as well. Zealots that warped him for aggression are having to come back to try and defend from the flank here, but they're just going to get connected with Banelings very, very quickly. Hydralisks slowly being pushed away. These Banelings to the bottom being caught by that stasis ward helps a little bit, but not enough. Serral takes game number 1, and he finds the opening.
All right, now that looked more like my games, all right? Not the previous ones that we saw, but this one. And it was brilliant by Serral to bait those force fields. I did think he was going to try to play more into Hive and play a more passive style, because usually that's very much Serral-esque thing to do, but instead he proved me wrong. He went for the attack, and he did it brilliantly. He went forward with just enough Banelings that he was going to force fields, but with not enough that he was going to lose a ton of Banelings and be super far behind. Forced those force fields and then said, well, you don't have enough force fields anymore to hold the next attack. I'm going to be able to get through and break you. Especially like if you're ShoWTimE also and sitting back there, you get the first set of force fields, and behind this, you don't have full map vision. You don't know whether like Serral is massing Ling Hydra and will go for another wave. If you knew and you could see the entire map, maybe you would just swap in sentries to make sure he gets a ton more force fields and can land the perfect storms. But no, he doesn't know. So then he gets surprised by that next wave and how strong it is. And this also hits just before ShoWTimE is going to be able to get enough Immortals, enough Archons to be able to defend the next attack. So just brilliant play here out of Serral in game number 1.
Yeah, I guess overall what we saw from ShoWTimE against his previous opponents was him actually getting a decent amount of damage done, like 11, 12 drones killed off, but Serral's not that kind of guy. Serral's going to be able to defend those. He only lost like 2 to 4 drones in comparison, so very, very good showing there out of Serral to then set the tone for the rest of this series, because you don't want to like lose the same way the other guys did and then be in a bad spot. We're just waiting for ShoWTimE to actually join the game. It seems like he's taking a moment here after those first 2 series.
You got me worried. Yeah, I thought you were going to say we're just waiting for you to join the game. It's like, oh, I tabbed in game.
Oh yeah, you did. I wondered why you had stopped. Sorry.
Nope. You know, yeah, you're the one to call me out, aren't you?
I do what I can. If you can't call out your friends, who can you call out?
Your enemies.
Yeah, I suppose.
You don't have any enemies, do you?
No, not really. No, I must. There must be people. There must be people that hate me, of course. We're going to Ascension to Aya for our next map. And ShoWTimE is still just waiting a moment. I guess he might be just, you know, again, contemplating that kind of position he was in against Serral. Ascension to Aya isn't a map that we've seen him go onto in the past 2 series for ShoWTimE, so be interesting to see how he's going to approach this map. Is it Ascension to Aya that we didn't see? No, we saw Odyssey, we saw... Yeah, okay, should be fine. You're thinking out that tweet, huh? That was a long one.
Because like it's English keyboard, so I couldn't find the hashtag. I wanted to hashtag WCS, but...
Sometimes, even on English keyboards, or it might be American, I can't find the hashtag, so I just copy and paste it from the trending things on the left-hand side.
Yeah, that's smart. You're a clever guy, aren't you?
Or a problem solver. But I can't put those problem-solving skills into action in terms of APM, and thus I'm rubbish at StarCraft. Bug.
You should have played my caster tournament, man.
Yeah? I think I would have probably got annihilated.
Decimated.
Decimated.
You would have casted your own games, like... out loud.
I would have just left game number 3 if it's a best of 3 and just be like, done and dusted. I'm done. I'm out. I think we have to leave this lobby, by the way. I'm bugged.
All right.
I probably should have played. It wouldn't matter if I'd have lost or not. But I'm a busy boy.
Would you have? Yeah, you don't really have time to practice, right? Because you cast a lot of heroes as well.
Yeah, it's a hard life. If after June the 20th, I will have been on the road and casting just for 2 months solid, basically.
Heroes needs to have a 1v1 mode, and then you could just play that against 2 people.
Oh, I'll play that. I'll gladly play that. All day, every day. Easy peasy. It was fun playing that game against Grubby last night, but he had a bit of a hard time.
Here comes the brag.
Yeah.
Nobody in the chat has no idea, like, has any idea what you're talking about.
No, absolutely not. I'm good at heroes, guys. At least I'm good at one game.
Grubby is good at esports earnings.
That's true. All right, let's jump into game number 2, as we do have Serral currently 1 game up here in this best of 5. 2 games away from qualifying for WCS Jönköping. Down at the bottom right-hand corner, our Protoss Architect from the first 2 series of the day. It is ShoWTimE. And up to the top left, we do have the Wonder Boy himself. It's Serral from Finland.
Do you know around how much these 2 players have earned in their career?
ShoWTimE, maybe 150?
163,000.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah. Serral?
Serral, 90.
Not yet.
No?
44,000.
That's lower than I expected.
Yeah. Just like his results compared to his hype.
Wait.
It's going to be fixed eventually, maybe starting with this tournament here.
That's true.
$1,600 for first place here in this challenger.
Yeah.
And a direct spot for the group stage 3 WCS Jönköping.
That's right. Just win 30 more of those and it'll be at my estimate.
Well, in Jönköping there will be quite a bit of money on the line for
Yeah,
first place
that's
as well.
But
But to be honest, like 1,600, like, you know, it builds up eventually, right?
Yeah. Was first place like 25,000? I think it's 80,000 overall at the actual tournament itself. Or yeah, but
I'll look it up exactly for you. You know,
exactly.
because I'm a bro. I got your back.
Thanks, man.
$25,000 for first place.
Imagine that. I was right.
10,000 for second.
That's 100,000.
You know, Nib in Austin, by the way.
Mm.
He had to win the tournament to overtake me in his pole standings.
Yeah.
And he did.
Well played, Neeb.
You got my respect, finally.
Before that, you are nothing.
Another double gateway opener here out of ShoWTimE with a quick Nexus. And I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of these adepts built into oracles. Last game, I have to say, I was quite impressed with Serral's capability of defending these oracles and adepts.
Yep.
If you're ShoWTimE, it's very hard to pick out exact mistakes. Maybe a little bit of a lack of patience on the defense onto that 4th base.
Mm-hmm.
Like these games, right, they also add up from one another. Like ShoWTimE, the last game was his 7th map in a row against Zerg.
Yep.
And against a 3rd different Zerg. And in the previous defenses, you know, he might have read situations in a specific way and maybe got some like mistelling flashbacks or signs in the previous game that made him defend the way he did. Maybe he overreacted a little bit at first, and then because of that, he came up short.
Well, that, and I mean, just everything Serral was doing was just a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Because he just hadn't taken that damage, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, the defense alone was just insane.
yeah.
Like, you know, against Sort of and Lambo, sometimes the first Oracle trapped like 6 units, some lava, got like a whole, maybe 5 drones or something. Against Serral, no, he got nothing.
Well, I mean, if those are some of the determining factors, then it shows that it's very, very worth it. Even if you think it's just a few kills here and there, it shows it's very worth it.
Like ShoWTimE, if anything, lost 2 adepts and got 1 Oracle damage to kill 1 drone on that 3rd base. That's game.
It was a lot of investment to try and get that done. Here comes 2 adepts, though, towards the 3rd base. They notice it, but they really can't do much there. Gonna shade forwards, see what they can get done. But there's already Lings. He's just staying slightly out of vision, interestingly.
Yeah. He didn't see anything, but he was like, yeah, I know there are Lings here. Serral's
too good.
Yeah, he's too good. He's not bad enough not to have anything there, so...
Yeah.
But I played safe. Get it behind the minerals, guys. Take cover behind those sand sacks of minerals.
one's going to go here and one's going to go there. You ready? He'll reposition the other one in a second. I promise.
Man, these adepts, they're like the, you know, the small piece of meat you got stuck between your teeth. Where is Serral's toothpick?
Yeah. Oh my god. He didn't reposition the second one. I'm super sad because he did in the previous games. Damn it. Oh well, here comes the Oracle.
Evil Chamber in the main base there from Serral. Pretty sure it's going to be that +1 melee. Actually, ShoWTimE shading out of there a little bit late. Let's see if he's able to get out.
Doesn't even try?
Yeah, he loses 1. Oh, he cancelled. Okay, he realized he was going to win that fight.
Here comes the Oracle, looking for kills.
And now he's going to lose that Adept. That's already a win for Serral. Okay, he loses a couple drones there. Finally, ShoWTimE gaining some momentum. Baningness now going to go down. I think Serral's very wary of a big Adept attack here to follow this up, just in case there were to be something like Raise Anything Glaze and a ton of Adepts hitting him, just because this game is not going Pneumatized Carapace and he can't check for it. He's going to cover all of his bases and go for an early Baneling Nest, which is very smart.
I had a lapse in memory then. I was like, did he even get Warp Gate? But it had just finished. There was
It's not a Roddy build.
No, I know. There was that small window in time where he just finished it but wasn't morphing them. I'm like, wait a minute. So yeah, all good, all good. ShoWTimE warping in the 3 sentries towards the 3rd base. And we do have the 2 Oracles and 2 Adepts rendezvousing with one another to maybe put on some pressure. Don't know if they can get much done though. There's still the 5 Queens out.
We've seen actually these kind of games from the past, from ShoWTimE, where much like in the previous game, it's really weird because he plays really well, but then all of a sudden he makes uncharacteristic mistakes, lose the game, and then you might start worrying that, you know, maybe he will be on a little bit of a tilt because of the way it went. But almost every time, I don't think I've seen ShoWTimE go on tilt and lose. The one time I've seen ShoWTimE actually go on tilt was, I think, in Montreal for WCS, which, by the way, is happening again this year. Super hype for this, but his luggage had been lost, and then he didn't have his keyboard, mouse, and stuff. He didn't have clothes, and he had to play in a tournament. Like, this was like the worst time. Like, this is the most tilted I've ever seen him, and even then, he was like still pretty quiet. I had to ask him about it to find out about his frustration. And I think he lost to Hero Marine pretty early in the brackets.
Hard time.
Was quite disappointed to travel so far, to lose so early, and that's probably he probably used that as motivation, to be honest, in the upcoming tournaments, to just like practice even more and make sure he doesn't lose early.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of his luggage situation and all this bad stuff that had happened, right?
Serral on muscle memory almost threw down a 2nd Baneling Nest behind his mineral line, but realizes he already had one. And
nice catch.
Yeah, we're going to see the Oracles trying to fly on down towards the back, but again, there's still always Queens ready and waiting as soon as everywhere he goes. Admittedly, he did get more damage done in the natural with his Adepts this time, so a little bit better for ShoWTimE this game.
More Prism in the main base here. There are not that many units. As long as they all go there, Serral should be fine. A lot of energy here on these Oracles. Surprised ShoWTimE hasn't gone home here to start on setting up some Stasis Ward, but there are weaknesses to setting these up too early, is that if the Zerg picks up on that, he can demine the field with just a couple links running all over the place.
Yup. So they will head on back for now. These links
nice
didn't
wall.
go up to the wall. And yeah, this wall was the one that you were admiring 2 days ago from another player, I believe. Well,
it's a really nice way to make sure that Zerg doesn't get through the area, and then you can expand on the north side as a 4th base. And remember, in the previous game, ShoWTimE, he died, right, to Hydralisc Bane. So if he's got that side covered, then all he has to focus on is the other side.
Yeah. Put some places on lockdown will help out a lot. I didn't even realize.
Actually, in the previous game, even like what allowed Serral to break through was that he hit so early with the Hydralisc that he got a cancel on those first 2 gates.
Yep.
Like, you see those 2 gates on the 3rd base of Serral? The 3rd base.
Oh, where are we going? Sorry, you mean down here or here?
Yeah, these two, right?
2,
in the previous game, those were cancelled by the Hydralisc, remember?
Yeah.
And if they hadn't been, then that would have been an extra wall-off where he wouldn't need force fields. So that detail in itself helped him a lot.
Oh, he sends just one Hydralisc forward.
I think he saw it.
Knows.
He must have seen it just from moving up the ramp.
Yeah, that's crazy good stuff.
And this wall is almost going to play against ShoWTimE there, because that's going to be gateways getting unpowered in that location. Let's see, Storm finished. You don't want to get too crazy here at Serral.
Find some damage, go elsewhere. The Lings on this left-hand side. Just trying to pose a threat, but can't really do too much. But there's Banelings morphing in from the weakened Zerglings as well.
And ShoWTimE is lacking gateways here because of this. He's trying to scramble, trying to remake some of those here inside of his main base, but he's still very wary of an attack. Attacking at this bottom side. He's left so much of this army down there.
Yeah,
he needs to move it up. The Mothership Core as well is towards the natural.
Here comes Zerg swarming in from both sides, and that's going to be the Lings and Banelings just flooding across a lot, get caught by Stasis. But that's still a lot of Banelings left over. He wants to try and get himself in a better position to actually greet this army. There's not that many force fields actually left. It's going to be up to the Storms to actually do damage here against this. The Lings go on to the Immortals, as well as those Banelings in the thick of things. They don't quite get the right connection that they want, but they push the Protoss far enough away to cancel the force.
And a lot of sentries died just before they could throw down these force fields there. That's going to be a bad thing for ShoWTimE. Banelings keep on rolling through. And Serral just has a quick way to engage into this, that it doesn't allow ShoWTimE to land those force fields and storms here. ShoWTimE may finally have made his match here.
Absolutely. Another stasis will go off, catching a lot of those banelings that were probably going to die to the storm as they were coming on through. There's another stasis behind this as well. This is the siege on the third base, though. If those banelings are able to do damage, doesn't look like they will. Force fields
good defense so far. Those banelings, though, they're going to get unfrozen right inside of the Protoss army here in a second. And in the meantime, it's not like Serral's all in. He's taking to Hive. He's getting a Spire.
Ooh, the Archon survives.
And getting a cancel onto that fourth base of ShoWTimE is a big deal here. It's going to slow him down on a lot of things.
Yeah, behind the Serral is completely unimpeded with his progress. This Warp Prism really hasn't done much up towards the top. This base is going to be cancelled once again. And as soon as he tries to go expand here, the probe dies off to banelings. So, Serral... we were singing ShoWTimE's praises before, but Serral just has the key to unlock things.
Oh, yeah, he's playing like a beast right now. He's going to run in there. Might be an overextension, but if he can even just trade a little bit there, this would be okay for Serral. Look at ShoWTimE. He's all panicked, moving back the High Templars that he's got, and he's down to so few Immortals.
There was very few Storms left, actually, in this army as well. And he's just going to run this over.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, he's just going to be able to kill off these two remaining Archons as well. These Oracles are trying desperately to be able to kill off as many of these units as possible, but the Archons fall down. Army supply 68, and that is going to be Serral 2-0. What a monster.
Yeah, playing like an absolute beast here. And I mean, we know ShoWTimE as well. Like, I feel like if ShoWTimE wins this, you know, like he's going to go on Twitter and be like, oh, Serral is just so insanely good right now, right? Like, he's like one of the few players to actually do that, but he wouldn't make sense because Serral... he's just playing out of his mind. Even that micro in the last fight, like, are you kidding me? Like, he pulled back Banelings and Hydralisks every single time that he needed to, baited a couple Storms, and took the most cost-effective fight that you could here in that position. So many Zerg who just kind of A-move and kind of lose everything to Storm.
Yeah.
Not Serral.
It feels like, as well, he doesn't even need the vision on the Stasis Wards. He just knows where they are most of the time.
Yeah.
So... one unit forward.
I mean, you can see a blur like for the DTs, right? So you can trigger that as long as you're super careful, which sounds a lot easier said than done, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. 2-0 for Serral at the moment. I don't know where we're going. We're going to Defender's Landing, and...
what a better name.
All right, ShoWTimE, you better show us the best defense possible.
You better land some good defense on this one. Huh?
Yeah, because otherwise, Serral's just... I don't know how he does it. After watching the first two series and then watching Serral approach the same problems and then just be like...
It's all in the details as well. Like this this attack that Serral did up the ramp. If ShoWTimE leaves one full energy sentry down there and can force field on that ramp, he's fine there.
Yep.
He's buying enough time for enough army to go there and then defend. But because he didn't have that, he had one Adept in the wall and then one Immortal behind with the Stasis Ward behind as well that Serral obviously was going to see very easily. So maybe plays the Stasis Ward differently, maybe have one full energy sentry there. I don't know, like I think these things could have helped. I mean, it's very easy for me to nitpick, right? I'm watching these guys that are like 10,000 times better than me. But you have to find something to fix if you're ShoWTimE there.
And let's get into it then, as we do have game number 3. Defender's Landing. To the bottom left, it will be ShoWTimE. One game away from being knocked down to the lower bracket to fight for a spot in the top 4. And then up to the top right-hand corner, one game away from qualifying for WCS Jönköping here in WCS Challenger Europe. It is Serral, making it look, I wouldn't say easy, but...
you can.
Okay, make it look easy.
With the way Serral has been playing, I think if he just does another one of those good defenses into Link, Bane, Hydralisk, on this map, defending a third base is very, very tough for Protoss, just because of how open
Where are we going?
it is around it.
This one?
Yeah, check that third base of ShoWTimE.
Oh, okay, we're going
Yeah,
down
look
here.
at how open it is and how many avenues you can attack through. You've also got the cooling tower on the left-hand side that can be taken down, but then reopened by the Zerg if the Protoss has taken it down, which I kind of expect ShoWTimE to do because he's walling off back there.
Yep.
So those are things to keep in mind. ShoWTimE, though, going to go for a very early pylon block here.
Yeah, an interesting little change-up. Going to be the gassing expansion, spawning pool going down here.
He shouldn't have cancelled.
Yeah,
I wanted to get his Nexus earlier, I guess. Delayed the hatchery a little bit, at least.
Doesn't want to throw his timings off, I suppose, on the other side of the map too badly. So that will be the case. ShoWTimE goes. That was interesting as a noise. And we will have the 7 minutes call on the way to start these wall-offs. Get them going. So Probe knows everything at the moment.
ShoWTimE even walking on the wall off here on the right side of his mineral line.
Oh, with the pylon. Does that wall? Is this? No, that's not.
Yeah, that side is walled off. But then the question is, how
Right.
exactly is he gonna wall off between the Nexus and that pylon, and like what width?
Yeah.
It's a pretty nice wall actually. Damn.
Damn.
Maybe I shouldn't veto this map. ShoWTimE's got some courage to play this, but I mean, like some maps can be quite difficult here in the map pool. Link's gonna get inside of his main base. It should get cleaned up eventually by the one at depth. That's on the way.
Spots the Stargate on the low ground. Just thrown down in plain sight. I'm not even going to try and hide it here. Playing the same style to start things off. But that being said, you get the cleanup and then try and change it up maybe?
These Links will get out.
They're just walking
They
out.
got in, saw the Stargate and left.
Right, it's like, bye.
They came, they saw, they conquered.
Well done, Lynx. Plant that little Zerg flag. They're like, hurry! And run away.
That wall is so sexy.
Keep telling me about it.
Look at it.
Keep going.
Like it's so symmetrical.
Symmetrical.
It's like a straight line from the ramp to the other side of the corner of the natural.
Yeah.
With the Stargate perfectly in a safe position. Okay, so there goes the cooling tower, by the way. That's kind of a must.
Yeah.
That can buy you a lot of time if you get hit by an attack.
Would you take this wall for dinner, Todd?
Oh yes, I'd
Yep.
wine and dine as well.
You'd wine and dine this wall. Perfect. And a second wall as well, just in case a one wasn't enough. Alright. Ooh. 4 Lings. Just sat there doing nothing. Don't know why.
It's funny how unthreatened Serral looks, by the way. Like he's not even taking down his own cooling tower. It's like, I don't even need to buy any time against the depths. Anyway, they could just come in from his third base and then shade into his other bases. Like as long as he gets enough units, and so far he's done a perfect job of always getting enough links. That these at depths were never going to be such a huge threat from ShoWTimE.
And the Oracle really isn't getting much done yet at all. The Void Ray is going to be on the way to kill off the Overlord.
Yeah, enjoy the scout in the main base. Your days are numbered, Overlord.
That's all you'll get.
Look at that spore, perfectly placed.
Yep.
A lot of Zergs would have had that a little bit higher, but no, not Serral. He's like, I want to protect not only my lava, but also the extractor drones here that are mining there.
Yeah, it's just good decision making, really. He knows that the Oracle's less likely to be coming in from that top right, top left even, I should say. And pushed back by Queens. One slight disadvantage is he doesn't have creep between the main and the natural at the moment, so they can't chase thoroughly through.
Very important point here. Where are the robos going to be? Or at least robo, right? Because he's at least going to be one. Twilight Council in 4th time here. Usually that's in the main base from ShoWTimE.
The Adepts get sent forward. Kill off Creep Tumor, not too bad. Starts the Twilight Council.
Oh, Stacy Swall in the main base of Serral. Whoa!
That was good.
Okay, all right. Finally he gets a good one. No reaction from Serral. I don't know where he was looking, maybe around the 3rd base. And warping in sentries here once again. Robo going down on the natural. It's so sick, by the way, that this creep spread is so good. Like, if the creep spread wasn't so good and ShoWTimE noticed it, one thing that he could have done there is do a huge gateway explosion, go up to 8, and then just get a ton of stalkers.
Yep.
Ton of stalkers, maybe like 5 to 6 sentries, and then you get one prism. You force field everything when you attack, and then like it's going to be too early for the Zerg to be able to hold a lot of the time, even though they are going to be on Hydralis tech. It will be just before there is the critical mass. That's one of the things that you could do. But now, because there is creep, for him to actually step on it and take a good fight would be way harder. He couldn't have a pylon there. Well, I guess either way we need a prism. He still goes for blink though. So this is the same situation that we had earlier, where he knows that Zerg, you know,
And
can't really go for drop and banelings, and yeah, it might be even more. Remember last time he ended up whopping even more.
Continues the walls. What do you think of this wall, Todd? The Architect's wall, the Architect's second wall. You like this wall?
He's like not just playing this game right now. He's in an alternate reality. He's meeting up with Neo in a room, dressed all in white with his white beard too.
Yeah. The true Architect. Perfect. Actually, it's only
It's going to be
Phoenix.
that again. A second Robo and Robo Bay on the way, so he's going to play Colossus.
I mean, if he got a chance to watch the previous series, he could potentially identify this.
Yeah.
Because it's exactly the same as you were mentioning. It's cool how he has these different branching patterns, because both of the builds that he's exhibited today have looked the same.
There's a couple links down there.
Yep.
It's so funny too, because like we saw these builds and like we saw ShoWTimE dismantle sort of and Lambo completely, and like I'm sure the entire chat is going, "Oh, Protoss so OP," and then Serral comes, is like, "Nope, nope, and nope."
Absolutely nope. And the thing is he's getting Spire on the way now as well, so I think he's identified this a little bit quicker than his previous adversary in ShoWTimE that ShoWTimE had. There's +2. There's Thermal Lance on the way. Let's revel.
I think, yeah, Corruptors might be a really good option here against this.
Yep, definitely.
You take the fight, and then as the Corruptors start fighting, you pull back with the rest of your army, and you let them deal with the Colossus. Once you've reset the Colossus count, this army on the ground by itself is not that scary.
The creep is slowly enveloping the entirety of the map now. And I say slowly, it's rapidly. Like, this is getting a bit silly for Protoss to be able to move at any time soon. I'm going to be trying to force some force fields out there, bait them out, gets himself a sentry. This is just for Lings, by the way. None of the expensive units at the back have actually cost anything. They didn't die.
That's a lot of force fields for just a very few Lings, and it's a great way here for Serral to prevent that creep spread from being denied. And he's got Queens there. He can just reset up a couple of creep tumors, even on the left-hand side. He's even creep spreading towards the entire left-hand side. He's got so much vision, and also the speed that the creep spread is going to provide. And Corruptors are now on the way. Like Serral fully knows what he's facing here.
He just reads it. He just reads it completely. It's, I mean, ShoWTimE might be the architect, but Serral is clairvoyant. He knows exactly what is going on.
It's so sick, because he didn't even really scout it much. Like, he didn't see the second Robo nor the Robo Bay. Serral never scouted that.
No. Just kind of, I mean, he saw what was going on at the natural in terms of unit composition, whether or not he's reading into that, and then getting confirmation, and then transitioning. I don't know, but he's playing it great.
Look at his debris, man.
Die.
Why are they on the map?
Get out of my map. This is mine. All the creep. Look, the
open
queens.
field.
Look where the queens are spreading creep. They're in, like, right on the doorstep. This void ray.
Oh, the void ray.
Yeah. Get out of my map.
They're fully knowing that they are Corruptors. ShoWTimE gets a bunch of void rays.
But he might try and
how
hit
is he going to get to that location? Okay, no, he can go through, actually.
Okay, that's a pretty good stasis ward to start things off. It's almost acting like a force field for the rest of the army.
It's just Lings, like these guys. They barely matter.
Yeah.
ShoWTimE, once again, though, you know, I mentioned this many times before, if he can max out, I do think he will be in an okay position. I think Serral knows that, so he's going to want to try and hit before Protoss can max out there. And if he can trade even close to evenly, Serral's remax is going to be way quicker. He's already building up quite a bit of a bank here. Banelings are going to roll on through into natural. ShoWTimE with the last second warp in.
You know, trying to stop them as quickly as possible. At the same time, these Colossi are getting some good value off on some of the units down towards the bottom here. Here come the Corruptors, though, trying to get in on top of this. There's going to be the blink forwards. Will they be able to focus down those Corruptors quickly enough? The Colossi are trying to hold against this walled Hydralisk, trying to burst it down as quickly as possible. Serral has a massive army supply at the moment, not only hitting this location, but also there were some units over here towards the natural, too.
And all the Corruptors are now gone, so with 2 Colossus left over here. But ShoWTimE has survived. He did lose a lot of his important units, and in particular one Robo that was very important, but he didn't lose that many probes.
The problem for ShoWTimE, though, is that Zerg's, not bank, but income is massive.
Yeah.
So he's remaxing or getting his Corruptors up again very swiftly.
Yeah. One thing that ShoWTimE did very well, though, was go for charge. And now he can just get a ton of Zealots. Remember, he doesn't have a Templar Archives, so he cannot add Archons, but that would be really nice to add at the front of his army, even though obviously he's going to want to rely on a little bit on the force fields. And Stalkers are pretty ambitious.
Ooh, nice blink up. Get away from
there is only one overcharge, by the way, coming up for the next fight, and Serral's just going to stream in there. He knows that right now ShoWTime's trying to max out.
Oh, free voider already. Those Banelings actually just crashed on through. There wasn't force fields for the initial wave. The second wave gets force fielded out and then busted down. There's only one Colossus in this army, Todd. There's only one Colossus. If he doesn't have anything else here, that is going to be Serral actually killing after everything, and that is GG. Serral takes it 3-0. And as easy as ShoWTimE made his first 2 series look, Serral just swept ShoWTimE aside.
Nope, nope, and nope. That's what Serral says here to the Protoss, and he qualifies for WCS Jönköping here already. Obviously, he still will have matches to play. That's going to be tomorrow, but to try and win more points and more money. I mean, overall, a sick performance here out of the Finnish player.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Serral for qualifying for WCS Jönköping. That was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. So it looks like our next series will be Nurchio going up against Namsha, which is our next semi-final to determine which of those two
Namshar beats Nudes.
Yes.
So one of the top 4 seed favorites here did lose 2 and 3 to Namshar.
That's right. We can take a check-in with the brackets and see that result as it comes through. There we go. Namsha and Nurchio will be going head-to-head in a Zerg versus Zerg. And then the rest of the bracket is as currently follows. Serral being 3-0 victorious over ShoWTimE, will advance to WCS Jönköping, so congratulations to him. Lower bracket looks like this. ShoWTimE only need win that one series, and then he would be qualified for WCS Jönköping. Meanwhile, Lambo was able to defeat Petit Drogo, and we have other results yet to conclude. Todd, any surprises there in the lower that you think?
I mean, Soul, I guess. I feel like he's one of those up-and-coming guys that's maybe gonna break through eventually a little bit more and post more results. But for now, it still seems like he's on the cusp of finally getting there, and he's still gonna lose early in these sort of tournaments. Other than that, no, I think it's like decently straightforward. Bly winning a ZvZ, you know, like
we have
the Sky Blue.
We have the one remaining Terran in Hero Marine looking to battle on through there. So if you're a Terran, you want to be cheering for Hero Marine. We're going to go to a short break, and when we're back, we're going to have our final series of the day. It's going to be our Zerg versus Zerg as Nurchio goes up against Namsha.